Hello and welcome to today's class. So today we'll be dealing on the third method of differentiation, which is chain rule. Now, if y equals x raised to the power of 4, using general method of differentiation, what is dy all over dx? Differentiating y with respect to x, we have 4 multiplied by x and then 4 minus 1, which gives us 4x raised to power 3. Now, this is how general method works. But then let's look at chain rule. If y equals 3 plus x close bracket squared. Now, if you look at this, we can't differentiate this using general method in this format. We can only differentiate it using chain rule. Now, so how do we differentiate this? First of all, let me write the formula for chain rule. Dy all over dx equals dy all over du multiplied by du all over dx. This is the formula for chain rule. Now, if you look at this formula, there are two dominant factors in it, which is y and u. Y and u. Now, from the question, y equals 3 plus x raised to power squared. Now, so what is u? So, in solving this problem, u equals 3 plus x. So, whenever you see something like this, if y equals something in bracket, u should be what is inside the bracket when solving chain rule problem. Now, so since u equals 3 plus x, that means y equals u squared. Now, let's find dy all over du. So, dy all over du equals, since y equals u squared, differentiating y with respect to u, we have u multiplied by the power, which is 2 multiplied by u, and then the power minus 1, which is 2 minus 1. So dy all over du equals 2u. Now, so since u equals 3 plus x, let's find du all over dx. Differentiating u with respect to x, we have 3. Since it's a constant and there is no s attached to it, it becomes 0 plus, if you differentiate x with respect to x, it gives you 1. So du all over dx equals 1. Now let's substitute into chain rule formula. Chain rule formula is dy all over dx equals dy all over du multiplied by du all over dx. Now, substituting into the formula, we have dy all over dx equals 2u multiplied by 1. Remember, dy all over du gave us 2u, and du all over dx gave us 1. So, if you multiply through, you will have dy all over dx equals 1 multiplied by 2u gives us 2u. Now, since dy all over dx gives us 2u, let's substitute the value of u. Remember, u equals 3 plus x. Now, substituting into this equation, we have dy all over dx equals 2 multiplied by 3 plus x. So this is the answer to the question. Now let's take another example. Example 2. Now, so if y equals cube root of ax plus b raised to power 4. Find dy all over dx using chain rule method. Now, so since we have something like this, how do we differentiate it? First thing, let's convert this to an index form. So y equals ax plus b raised to power 4. Now recall, square root of a equals a raised to power 1 all over 2. And then cube root of a equals a raised to power 1 all over 3. Therefore, the cube root of ax plus b raised to power 4 is this. So y equals this. Now, so let's apply the concept of indices. According to indices, when you have something like this, you multiply through. The powers multiply each other. So y equals ax plus b close bracket 4 multiplied by 1 is 4 all over 3. Now, since y equals ax plus b raised to power 4 all over 3, let's now start the differentiation process. Chain rule formula for differentiation is dy all over dx equals dy all over du multiplied by du all over dx. Now, so we need y and we need u. We have already gotten y. So what is u? So u equals these parameters in brackets. So therefore, u is ax plus b. Now, so let's find du all over dx. Therefore, du all over dx equals, if you differentiate ax with respect to x, it gives you 1 multiplied by ax raised to power 1 minus 1, which gives us 1 multiplied by ax is ax, and then 1 minus 1 is 0, and anything raised to power 0 is 1, so we have a. So du all over dx equals a. Now recall, y equals ax plus b raised to power 4 all over 3. And u is these parameters in brackets. So y equals u raised to power 4 all over 3. Now let's find dy all over du. So dy all over du equals, you multiply u by the power, which is 4 all over 3 multiplied by u, and then subtract 1 from the power, which is 4 all over 3 minus 1. Now, dy all over du equals 4 all over 3u raised to power. If you solve this out, it would give you 1 all over 3. Now, let's substitute all the parameters gotten into chain rule formula. So, chain rule formula, dy all over dx equals dy all over du multiplied by du all over dx. Now, substituting, we have dy all over dx equals 4 all over 3u raised to power 1 all over 3 multiplied by a. Now, if you multiply this, you would get 4au raised to power 1 all over 3 all over 3. Now, but u equals ax plus b. Now, let's substitute the value of u into this. So, dy all over dx becomes 4a multiplied by ax plus b raised to power 1 all over 3 all over 3. So that's it. Or dy all over dx equals 4a open bracket cube root of ax plus b all over 3. So that's how we solve a question using chain rule.